Howdy folks. So quick tip, was following on the Facebook page and someone asked a question, gave me an idea. So I've got this character. This little Medusa character of mine. And what I want to do is set up a transition between her Gorgon form and the human form. So the way that I did this, if we look in the shader, pretty straightforward. This is also for EV only, because this shader to RGB is only available when you're using the EV editor. But what I do is I've got these two images here, and each one of these image textures corresponds to this one. This is the map for the Gorgon head, and this is the map for the human head. The mix shader then transitions between the two. You need a shader to RGB to be able to plug this into the base color of the principled BSDF. Now, the question originally was about the specular, or actually specifically the roughness, and how this trick works here with the mix shader between these two albedo textures probably will work also for the roughness texture. So the idea was, let's say you want to do a sweat map. So you have one map that is regular and then another map that has beads of sweat on it. You would link it together just the same way here, mix shader, mix to RGB, but then you would plug that into, say, the roughness. Considering that you're not really using RGB, you might be able to put directly from the mix shader into the roughness, but if that doesn't work, go to the shader to RGB, connect that into the roughness, and then you'll be able to use the slider, just like how we're using the slider to switch between Gorgon skin, human skin. You'd be able to switch between dry skin and sweaty skin. Now, just like I've got these control curves that control a series of drivers that control my blend shape, so you can see how the eyelids react ever so slightly to the position of the eyeball. That's all done through drivers. And I can pose I got some cleanup to do there, but there you go. Right, so now the blend shapes that control the position of the eyelids, those were set to the rotation of the eyeballs. So what I was thinking is, could we then take that setting for the map, right? Take this mix shader setting, and can we set this up in such a way that we can control it with our control armature? And the answer to that should be yes, because we can add a driver to this. So we'll get to that in a second. Let's see where to put the driver. So there's our driver. Our driver is under its own setting. So there's baby deuce base. Here are the drivers for my keys, and here's the driver for my material. And if I click on that, I get my driver curve. And let's call up the tools, or the options rather, for this driver. And let's see, driver, object. I want to control this in the pose, so I'm going to have to edit my armature control. So here's my control armature. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I use two armatures parented to an empty. One armature controls the character directly, the other armature controls the other armature then is my IK armature that has all my controls on it. So the deform armature is directly connected to the mesh and animates the mesh. The control armature CRT, that armature then drives and controls the deform armature. In the end, what I can do is select the hierarchy for the control armature, delete that, and that will leave me just with the basic deform armature. And the benefit to that, the reason behind that is once I do all my animations and I have all my animations set up, I can then take the deform armature, bake all the animations onto the deform armature, delete the control armature, and then export the deform armature and the character into a program like Unity. So this means that you can take the Unity skeleton, use the Unity skeleton to rig your characters, use this control armature to control the Unity armature without actually manipulating the Unity armature directly, delete the control armature once you have all your animations set up, and you bake the animations onto the deform armature, and then re-import those back into Unity. And since your control armature is a separate armature all unto itself, you can just simply select the hierarchy and delete that. But I digress. What we really want to do here is add a bone that will allow us to control the color, or allow us to select which skin texture we're going to be using. So we'll put it to the COG. Let me go edit mode. This is the big COG bone there. This bone here is what will move the entire armature. Well, it doesn't move the entire armature, it moves the center of gravity. Let me show you. I don't have the cloth physics playing right now, so that's why the skirt's acting weird. Okay, so that's what the COG bone does. That is my root. Let's see. Pose mode. Edit pose mode. No, edit mode. I will add a new bone. Where was that bone added to? Oh, right there. So here's the new bone. We shall call this bone skin map. And we'll leave it where it is. If I go into the transforms, I will lock everything but the Z transform for this. And so if I go into pose mode now, and I grab that and I move it up, hey, it shouldn't be moving at all. But it is. Oh, that would be why. I have to lock it here. So now Z, and I will only be able to move this into Z. Y then. There we go. So now that I can move it into the Y, let's go back to our young Medusa. Go to our driver for the factor right here. Select object, armor control. I didn't name it anything, so, or did I? Skin map. Oh, and you can see it's already starting to do something. No problem. And it is the Y location that we're using. And so now, if we go into pose mode and we move that, well, we should see something doing something. Let's see what it, oh, silly me. I forgot to tell it. Some values. Now we go to pose mode. Some values, driver value shouldn't be doing anything. Y, transform space. Pose mode. There you go. We're going to have to set some max. That is fascinating. It looks like it's overpowering. See, that I wasn't expecting. So let's see if there's a way that we can set, because I know we can set, well, we have to be able to set a maximum value for the driver. Maybe that will do it. Let's see. Cool. So here's how you can limit it. There's a couple ways you can do the limitation. You can limit by having your driver selected, go into the modifiers, add a modifier, limits, check the limits on. Forgot to do that the first time around. You set your minimum X and minimum Y, then your maximum X and maximum Y. Then you come over here, and in pose mode, you can now slide that up to toggle on and off the transition of the skin color. You can also try to add a bone constraint, limit location, and would be the same thing here where you hit minimum Y, minimum X, so the minimum Y, maximum Y, set the maximum Y to 1 for transform, and let's see. Cool. We don't have to set it to world space or pose space, but let's see what happens when I move the head. Okay, rotating the head seems to be fine. And our little character here should be the phone is doing funky things, so I'm guessing for that we will go into those move. Did we not add a bone constraint to you? We did. There it is. Let's set it to local space with parent. So again, or we'll try local space with parent, see if that works. Yes. Cool. So there you have it. So how this works with the skin map, I'm guessing it should be able to work with the like a sweat map or a wetness map. So let's go here, and just because I'm feeling lazy, I'll switch these two. So that way my down position, my default position, is human baby Medusa, and the up position is Gorgon baby Medusa. Alright, hope this helps. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, hit the bell note icon for notifications, and here's my sales pitch. This information is being brought to you free of charge. I am not monetized with Google, so right now the best thing you can do to help me out here is just share this with other people, because Google just isn't putting me into the circulation with all their stuff. So if you want to help this channel grow, share it with your friends if they want to learn Blender, and I'll just keep these things rolling. Bye bye for now.